evening, folks, and welcome back once again. Creepy Kentuckian here for another 13 horrors, another one, I guess, for Halloween. And, this was kind of hard to pick. I mean, of all the stuff that we've reviewed on the show and on these videos and stuff, it gets harder and harder to try to pick stuff that you haven't already talked about. And I know that we did do an on-the-road review of this, but that's been about 3 years ago, and that's back when we actually first saw it, and I've seen it a couple of times since then. So, and also, another reason I wanted to do this is on Facebook earlier today, I posted something because Saw, I'm not a big fan of the Saw movies, you all know this, and I posted, about Paranormal Activity beating Saw out as far as the theatrical horror weekend goes. And I kind of felt sort of shitty after that because, James Wan, who is one of my friends on Facebook, actually responded, and I don't know, it kind of made me feel like a bit of a douchebag. But the thing is, it's good to see another movie other than Saw reign supreme, regardless of what it is. I mean, I haven't seen either movie yet, Paranormal Activity or Saw 6. But for me, it was cool to see another movie, number one, that was a horror movie. Because somebody was saying that was a High School Musical or something like that was beat it out one year. Anyway, for James Wan, who I am a fan of James Wan's movies, I think he's a really good filmmaker. And I want to be talking about one of his movies. Right now, this is Dead Silence, a.k.a. Silence de Mort. Because it's one of these fucking Canadian releases, French-Canadian releases. Has the little maple leaf on the side there. I got a shitty webcam on, I'm sorry. I don't have the two cameras this time. But this is a movie that, a lot of the modern films today, you don't really see a whole lot of atmospheric horror films anymore. I mean, maybe I'm missing them. I don't see too many of them. I know Trick or Treat was a really cool one. And this one was really cool too, Dead Silence. I think we were talking to James Wan on the show. He was saying that this is sort of his tribute to the Hammer horror films that he was a big fan of growing up. And the film itself it starts off with this couple who get this mysterious package put on their doorstep, and opening the package, they find this creepy little doll, ventriloquist doll. And at first they're thinking it's one of their friends or something playing a joke on them maybe, or something like that. They have no clue who sent this little creepy doll to them. So they really think nothing of it. So the male, Jamie I think is his name in the movie, goes to pick up some food or something like that. When he returns, he finds his wife mutilated, her tongue chopped off and all this stuff. And for some reason he thinks it has something to do with that mysterious package they got. So, and he remembers, I think, the story of Mary Shaw, in his, there's this urban legend, I guess, in his hometown, which I think was called Raven's Fair, that, about her, from I think the 1940s, how she was accused of kidnapping, maybe killing this kid that sort of mocked her on stage, and was hunted down by all the parents looking for the kids or something like that. I don't know, there's a whole big backstory behind that. And the legend is that her ghost haunts the town, and all of her dolls and are haunted as well. There's spirits in the doll or something like that. And he's thinking that maybe this is one of Mary Shaw's ventriloquist dolls, which of course it is. And there's this is another one. I guess this is sort of another ghost movie, oddly enough. I mean, we say we're not big fans of ghost films, but Dead Silence is definitely, would have to be a ghost movie. And there's a lot of reasons I like this movie. I mean, this is a traditional, and that's the thing that's missing today in horror films, in my opinion, is the traditional way a movie is made. Like, and that's another reason I like The Last House on the Left remake so much, is it actually looks like a freaking movie. You don't have all this shaky camera work and grunge music and stuff playing throughout. You had an awesome score. I'm not sure who did the score on this. I can look real quick. Maybe it has it on the back of here. Maybe not. I don't know. Charlie Clouser did an awesome score of this. Very old school, I'll just say that. It reminded me a little bit of like The Fog or something. And just a great atmosphere throughout this whole movie. And I know a lot of people don't like this movie. A lot of people aren't into the killer doll films or whatever, and that's fine. But I always had a soft spot for this movie in particular. I'm hoping that at some point, although this is Universal, I think, this one will come to Blu-ray. I know it hit HD DVD, which is a dead format now. Because this movie, like, just the way it was shot, the atmosphere in this, very atmospheric film. James Wan really showed, the talent he has in this movie more than any other. I think that Death Sentence was also a really good movie as well. Completely different. I mean, that's the cool thing about that guy, is each movie he comes out with is pretty much completely different than the last. And but I mean, with Dead Silence, in my opinion, more than any other, the guy showed that he's got the chops. He's got the ability to make a really, really good movie. And this, in my opinion, is my favorite James Wan movie. I know that it didn't do that well at the box office, and I think it was delayed for a couple of years because who was it? Was it Greg Hoffman? One of the producers passed away or something like that. And I think that this was filmed, or it's supposed to come out right around the time, was it Saw 2? I'm thinking Saw 2, so that would have been 2005. And it was delayed for a couple of years. Came out in 2007. But to me, movies like this are made to watch on Halloween night. Really spooky, creepy atmosphere. And you really don't have too many, and I think that's probably one of the reasons it didn't do as well at the box office. You didn't have any stars or anything in a movie like Dead Silence. But that's what I like about it. I mean, I think Donnie Wahlberg was in there, but I don't know if, I just remember him from the NKOTB. I was a big fan of those motherfuckers back in the day. Anyhow, Dead Silence, I can't put this movie over enough. It's a it's always a fun movie to go back and watch, and I think that it is definitely, of the past 10 years, one of the better horror films to come out. It's a shame that it didn't do any better, because movies like this are made for sequels, in my opinion. Unlike the Saw movies, no offense to anybody, but I mean, I think Dead Silence is a lot of fun, and you can get this movie for next to nothing now on DVD. So if you haven't checked it out, it gets my highest recommendation. I would watch it, turn down the lights, put a jack-o'-lantern right in front of you, and have a happy Halloween, by God. So anyway, Dead Silence on DVD, unfortunately not on Blu-ray. I want it on Blu-ray, goddammit. Movies like this are great for HD. Anyway, that's it for this time, this week, or this. I'll be back in a couple of days. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. God, I need to figure out some more movies to review for you guys. So, until then, I'm the Creepy Kentuckian. We'll see you guys next time.